Oh, man. Good morning, everybody. It's Coffee Talk this morning, Saturday morning on July 18th. And I'm super excited to share just a little bit about how my life has completely changed over the last 10 years and why I would never go back, and how literally Beachbody has hunted me down, grabbed me, and took me. And I just finally went willingly, but I fought and I kicked and I screamed my entire way to Beachbody, and I'll share a little bit about that. But there are three things that I can tell you specifically how my life has completely changed. But before we start that, let me share, this week is Summit Week. And during Summit Week, one of the coolest things happens. And if you haven't watched it yet, you need to. For real, you absolutely need to. And it's called the Beachbody Challenge. And every year, and I'll tell you a little bit about why Beachbody Challenge is so important, but every year they give away $100,000 to the top transformation story to a woman and to a man, right? So $200,000. And they give it away every single year. And here's the thing. They've been doing this for gosh, I don't know how long they've been giving away the $100,000, 15 years maybe? I'm not sure. I have to find that out. But anyway, all throughout the year, people hand in their transformations, right? And every month they give away, I think it's like 500. Every quarter they give away $5,000. And then every year they give away $100,000. And so they're always giving away money. And so all you have to do is you have to complete a program. That's it. You just commit to a program, you complete it, and then you submit your results. And it's not just your pictures. You have to tell them how your life has changed from before and after and during, and tell them what you did, right? And they'll send anybody a t-shirt. Anybody who sends that in will get a t-shirt, a free t-shirt, no matter what, right? And you can do it every year if you want, send in your transformation. And they take all those people who sent in their transformations, and then thousands and thousands. Then they pick 40, right? And they narrow it down, and then they narrow it down again. And then everybody gets to vote on who wins the $100,000. So it's a really cool thing. And if you didn't watch the video from this year it had to be done virtually because we canceled our annual conference. But it was still so exciting, and I literally cried the entire time. I am such a baby, and the whole time, tears coming down. I came into my husband yesterday after watching it, and he looks at me, he's like, "You look so tired and beat up." I'm like, "No, this is the face of inspiration." It was awesome. You've got to watch it. I'll give you the link. Super simple. If you go into Destiny United, the link is still there, the one where they did it live, and I'm sure it's going to be uploaded somewhere as well afterwards. But you can still rewatch it from the live streaming last night. And oh my gosh, when they win the $100,000, their stories, it's just amazing. You have to go watch it. And they shared 8 stories of people who submitted their results and made it to the finalists. And almost every single one of them lost over 100 pounds, which is amazing. But you got to read or listen to their story, which is more important than anything else. Okay, so let's go back. Three ways that my life has completely changed. I need to share this with you because it's really, really important. It doesn't matter if you're a customer. It doesn't matter if you're a coach. It doesn't matter, because you need to hear these things, because these 3 things can change your life too. And let me go into one category, and that's friendships. When I was 17 in high school, I hung out with very bad people, right? And my life was surrounded by friendships that weren't really friendships, and people who were not good influences, right? And I ended up getting pregnant. And after I got pregnant and had my child and started raising her, I realized during that time, during this transformation, I dropped all my old friends and had to find all new friends, right? And it became this process, but I felt lonely, right? And even though I found some of my best friends, and to this day, we're still best friends, I absolutely love them, our lives were not in similar situations. So if you can imagine, I was going to school full time as a high schooler, and then as someone in college, going to school full time, working full time, and trying to raise my child, right? my life was not the same as my friends who were in college for the first year, second year, third year, fourth year. Their lives were completely different. During that time frame, I was also dating Jesse. I started dating Jesse, and I was building a relationship with him. So my life, I was dating for marriage. I had a child. I was working full time. I did not have the same life as my friends. And because of that, I couldn't just call them and tell them my frustrations. I couldn't just call them and be like, do you have tips for this and that? Like, our lives were in completely different places, and I was starting to feel pretty lonely. Like, I didn't have girlfriends. Now, Jesse is my best friend. And so it wasn't that lonely, trust me. I was feeling awesome. But I didn't have like these girlfriends to just call on, right? And over the last couple 10 years, I realized that Beachbody brought me those friendships. I'm literally can call one of 5 people anytime I'm having a situation and just talk to them about it. I can cry with them about it. I can talk to them about their situations. I am on the same playing field, right? Like, it's funny that I became really good friends with Amy and Kaylee because both Amy and Kaylee had children really young. So now I'm able to find like people who had really young children and we can relate to our pasts, right? And I also find awesome people who in our teams and through our challenge groups who have 4 children, 5 children, and I can relate to them in that sense. It expanded my world. I have friends now all over the country. Soon most likely to be in other countries, and it made my world bigger. And as you all know, when as an adult, whether you're trying to date or find friendships, when you're not in high school, your world kind of gets a little smaller. It's like, where am I going to find these people, right? These people who have the same values as me, these people who have the same outlook on life, the people who I want to be friends with, who like I want to be positive. So we go to social media, but you can't always find those people on social media. We're always reconnecting with like our old high school friends and stuff, but that doesn't mean they have the same values and dreams and aspirations that we do. So anyway, Beachbody brought into my life people who were positive, people who had the same values as me. And it's funny because as a coach, you're trying to expand your community, but you don't think of it as, oh, I'm actually looking for my best friends. But that's what happens. You're expanding your community. You're looking for people who have same like values and dreams as you, and you end up finding your best friends without even intentionally looking for them. Does that make sense? And so friendships has been a huge piece of our community, or of my life-changing transformation from Beachbody. And you don't need to be a coach for that to happen, because your coach is bringing people who have similar situations together in the challenge groups, right? And so we have this big happy community in our challenge group. And so whether you're a customer or a coach, it doesn't matter. You're going to find people in that group. You just need to open up and get into the group and chat in there and put in things that you're struggling with and ask questions and really participate, because you're going to find people in there who are going to be like you and that you want to be best friends with, right? And whether they live across the country or they live here next to you or they live down the street, even better, you can get together with them. But if not, we have a virtual gym. So it doesn't matter. You can get together with them at any time. Maybe you realize somebody is a foodie and loves food just as much as you, but you guys are working together to try to make really good veggie dishes and stuff. And so you use that virtual gym link to get on a call with them. You just, hey, can we meet up in the virtual gym and we'll like look through these recipe books together and we'll tell each other, oh my gosh, this is an awesome, ooh, yum. Like, I mean, people connect over food all the time, right? So that is a way that you can connect and get together with the community and find your best friends and find people in different situations that you connect with, right? And so that is number one, is friendships by far is one of the things that have changed my life with Beachbody, and it can do it for you too. Okay, number 2. When I went into college for teaching, but I changed it very quickly because I hated the homework. And I went into college then for finance, right? So I wanted to be a math teacher, hated the teaching aspect, and then went in for finance. And my goal, though, was to help people in their finances, right? And I graduated with a finance degree, and I was going to become a personal financial planner. And what I realized is that I had to go through this whole long phase of selling insurance and doing things I really didn't like. I didn't care. I would have done it, but I didn't want to. And I didn't see the value. Really, what I realized is that the career of finance is not the career that you think it's going to be, right? And so I wasn't feeling that. I was like, oh gosh, I mean, definitely you're helping people, but not in the way I really wanted to, right? And what I realized is the thing I really wanted to do, there really is not a huge position for it. There isn't. I mean, you could be a CPA and a financial planner kind of mixed together, but it's just it's a different world, right? And so my goal though throughout all of that was I want to learn how to make a residual income. And if you don't know what that means, look it up, but it just means that when you do work, you get paid for it over and over again versus completely trading time for money. And I wanted that because I had a child, and I realized that if I could create residual income, it would give me extra time, right? And I would be able to spend more time with my child slash future children and my husband. And so that was huge on my goal list too. But I also wanted to help others residually. And what do I mean by that? I wanted to be able to break the chains of certain things. I wanted to be able to teach certain things so that it could break the chains of poverty. It could break the chains of mindset, like help people get into a positive mindset. And so it would residually help them as well. Instead of just selling like life insurance or selling this or that, it would literally change their mindset so that they can work on their life in the future. They can be improving their life by what I taught them. Does that make sense? They could break the chains of poverty. Maybe they grew up in poverty and that's all they knew. And so you have to break the chain of mindset for that to happen, right? It's not just a quick fix. You have to continually educate and teach yourself. And so I wanted to help people with that too. But I was lost. I was confused. And what happened is I couldn't find a career in that while also spending time with my children. And so I was working in a job and I felt like I was behind bars because I was like helping these financial planners. I was in a wealth planning firm, and I'm like sitting at a desk and there's bars on the windows, and I couldn't stand being in an office all the time. I literally felt like I was behind bars. And maybe that sounds like an over exaggeration for you, but for me, that is truly what I felt like. I knew that my child was being watched by someone else. I hated being there, and it was bothering the crud out of me. So my husband and I worked really, really hard to get me home, right? We moved in with family multiple times so that we could afford our homes. And then we wanted me to be home. But when I was at home, I realized I don't want to just be at home. Like I was being pretty bratty, right? Like I wanted both worlds. And so when I learned about network marketing, I was like, dude, this would totally help. But every time and by the way, I joined like 4 network marketing, maybe 5 network marketing companies, and I would constantly fail at them. And there was something that still wasn't right. I didn't like the fact that I had to leave the house at night and get another babysitter. Like that piece of it was really bothering me. And so I became a coach, a Beachbody coach. But at that time, social media still wasn't like, people weren't building their businesses through social media. And I left the coaching world. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. And so I ended up failing multiple times. And yet something else was going on in my life, right? And it brought me back to Beachbody. I did not go, oh, you know what? Coaching was like awesome. I should probably do that. Nope. I got like pulled in like no other because of the other piece of my life. But it gave me, fast forward now as a coach, it gave me the opportunity to earn more than I did in all my other jobs per hour. So I hope that like you understand what I'm saying. And so because of that, I was able to get time freedom. I was able to work at home, earn what I was earning before, working less at home, doing something I liked, and something that was improving myself, right? And so those freedoms is what brought me back. But let me go over to the other part of the reason why it kept pulling me back is because throughout all of this time frame between having my child when I was 17 to being like, I don't know, 25 or something like that, I was learning how to create goals for myself and really working hard and hitting them. And I was like changing my mindset around a lot of things. And one goal that I always had was working out, eating right, and losing weight, right? Always. And so I wanted to get into a habit so bad. But what would happen is I would find something that works for me. It would be like Body for Life or South Beach Diet, or actually I've taken Hydroxycut too, Pilates DVDs, like whatever it was. I would do it for a couple months. I would lose the weight for whatever event it was, wedding, vacation, beach, any of those things. I would lose weight, and then over the next 6 months later, I would gain it all back. I remember getting into great shape for my wedding, and within 6 months, I gained 30 pounds. It was atrocious. I mean, that's just what happened. So during that time frame, I found all these Beachbody infomercials, right? And I would buy the DVDs, and they'd come into my house, and I'd open them up and be so excited. And then a week later, either they'd still be sitting there and I never put them in the DVD player, or I would start for 2 weeks and realize this is way over my head. I'm not even, like, I remember the one time I started P90X, and I ended up being outside with a migraine, and my vision was blurred, and I couldn't breathe. And I was like, this is not for me. Like, this is not for me. And I would quit, right? So during that whole time, I'm like being connected to Beachbody, right? And then I met someone who was a coach, and she told me all about Shakeology and the system, right? Shakeology, community, and the workouts. And then I actually started to get it, and I started to actually do it. And I literally changed my life. I lost that 30 pounds, and I never gained it back. I was able to keep this like consistency going. And maybe I'd go up and down 5 pounds, 10 pounds, maybe 10 pounds, but usually just 5. And for years, that was not my life. That was not how I was. And yet somehow it happened. I created these habits. Why? Because the system works. The system works. And then I realized it completely changed my life. And because of those couple of things, and then Summit happened, right? So Amy and I realized somehow, I don't even know how, that she was a coach and I was a coach. And I don't even remember how that conversation happened, but we realized that we were both coaches, right? And so we started, partnering up on different things, and we knew each other because our children went to kindergarten together. And we start partnering up with different things, and Amy went to run Fit Club, so I'm like, I'll help you run Fit Club. And then one day she was like, yo, they do this Summit thing. I don't even know what it's about. You should probably go with me, and maybe we can go. And I don't think she understood who she was talking to, because I was online instantly ordering flights. Like, I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm going to buy an air ticket now. Like, and I like posted on Facebook, do I know anybody in Las Vegas area? And I found a friend that I knew from childhood. And she's like, yeah, I live here. I'm like, can I stay at your house? She's like, yeah. Like, so we just went, right? I haven't seen this woman since I was a kid, but I just stayed at her house, and they had these big dogs, and that was a little scary. But anyway, we went, right? And it wasn't until I still at this point wasn't like completely sold out, right? I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. I like to help, and I make a little bit of money, no big deal. But it wasn't until I went to Summit and I watched everything happening. We met all the people. It was actually kind of crazy. They had way more people than they were expecting. And so there were points where we were stuck in a hallway and there were so many people. Anyway, but then they quickly figured it out the next day and had everything organized, which was great. That's what I love about Beachbody. When things go all to heck, they like pull it together and then make it work, right? And I love their pivot. Like, they always learn how to pivot. So anyway, it was fun. It was good. The seminars were great. People, were sharing their stories. It was all good. And we were learning a lot of how to do things as a coach. But that night, Saturday night, when we went for the celebration, was it Friday night? I don't know. Anyway, we went for the celebration, and we realized that they were giving away the $100,000 to the winners of the Beachbody Challenge, right? And this is the exact same thing I'm telling you that you need to go back and watch. And what happened was, we were watching these stories, and we were seeing people all around us like crying and screaming and cheering and clapping and applauding the people whose the stories were, and we're all getting goosebumps. And we were realizing at this moment that this is an amazing company. Their mission is true. Like, they have a mission, and it's not just words. They literally live up to that mission. And when that was happening, we realized that their heart was in the right place. and that their heart and our heart were aligned. And at that point, we realized that this company, this business, and our opportunity can fulfill those three huge things that I wanted: friendships and community, and finding people who are positive and a good influence, and a good, not just good influence on me, but a good influence on my family, people that I can connect with and relate to, right? It also gave us the opportunity to earn an income that was residual and to help other people residually while earning that income, right? It could completely change our life through our finances as well, and give us the opportunity to give to other people in a big way. When I saw these people and they were earning so much money, I don't want to rock your mind right now, but they were able to really help other communities too because of the amount of money that they were making. And because their heart was in the right place, they were using the money for good, right? And then three, friendships were and my weight loss. When I realized at that point, oh my gosh, this has really changed my life, and I've actually been able to be in the best shape of my life long term. It's changed my mindset around food. It's changed my mindset around fitness. It's saved me time, because any other time I went to the gym or did things, it was so much time. But now, like, there's no excuse. I can just do it at home, and even if I'm not doing something crazy like an hour long, then I can do something for 20 minutes. I mean, we have a program called 10-minute trainer. Like, there's no excuse not to do your workouts, right? And it completely changed my mindset around that. And when I realized it answered all three of my issues, all three of my problems, all three things that I felt lost, confused, like lonely, like a failure, that it could help all three of those things, and that their heart was in the right place, and that people are literally changing their lives. They're literally saving lives through their mission, and that they're 100% dedicated to that mission. I was sold out. I was sold out. I was completely sold out. I'm like, you know what? I'm a lifer. I'm in this for good. You're not going to get rid of me. I'm all in. And over the years, they have just every single year shown us how committed they are to the mission, right? There was a time in 2015 where they lost a whole lot of coaches, right? We had 400,000 coaches. They lost a lot of coaches. They went to different network marketing because network marketing, like, goes through these ebbs and flows of new companies opening and closing, and people are like, ooh, shiny object, I'm going to make a lot of money there, right? And so they leave, and then they realize grass is not greener on the other side. But anyway, when that happened, we could have changed things in a response. We could have, like, tried to respond to their needs in a different way, but it would have changed the structure of what we did. And Beachbody's like, no, we're sticking with our mission, right? And so they also could cut corners on their products. They could cut corners on their nutritional products. But they just stuck to their mission. And because of that, we're stronger now than we were back then, right? Every time you grow, you need to go through these valleys, right? And the reason why you need to go through these valleys is because you're going to become stronger because of it. And that's what Beachbody did. And I'm so happy that we actually have chosen to stick with it, because it has completely changed my life. And I know it can change your life too, whether you're a customer, whether you're a coach, it doesn't matter. You're still part of the team, and you're still going to be able to experience the life changes of friendships, of fitness, of health. I mean, what better time is it to work on your health, right? What better time is it to offer other people to work on their health? People are struggling. Your finances. What better time? I just read a post about somebody struggling big time. She doesn't know how she's going to do this. She has no idea. She's a waitress. She made good money being a waitress, and now she's out of luck. What is she going to do? She keeps her job. It just keeps getting taken away from her by no means other than the government. And as a waitress, she can't go to another job. It's not like the company went out of business. She can't go down the street and find another place to get a job as a waitress, right? What is she going to do? We have these answers for people. So we have to be able to reach out and offer it to them. They can take it. They don't have to take it. It's up to them. That's their opportunity. That's their decision. But we have this tool that we can offer people: their health, their finances, their income, their friendships, right? And so those three things are reasons why people join us and stick with us. Maybe they felt lonely before. Maybe they were suffering from anxiety, depression, and to go out looking for an answer was too much for them. To leave the home and look for something like in person was too much for them. They couldn't handle it. But we provide these like groups online that are not intimidating, you know, and so they can come and just slowly inch their way into it. And then as they work on their health and their nutrition, they become more and more confident, and they can get out of their shell more, or they can open up more, or whatever it is that they need to do, right? So it's a huge answer for them and for all of us. And so I see it every day. And here's some people that I I see the cycle that I wanted. You know, I wanted to break the cycle of poverty. I wanted residual income, time freedom, residually helping others. Like I said, breaking that cycle of mindset of obesity, poverty, one person at a time. If we can change one person at a time, it can change the world. And I see people like Kristen, these people that we interviewed throughout the last year. Kristen, she broke the cycle of mindset of not eating around other people. She literally stopped the interviews to say, I now live a normal life. She used to go out and not, like, she would not go out. She would not go out with her friends and family because she was afraid of people watching her eat. I mean, that's feeling like you have a chain on you, right? And now she feels like she lives a normal life because she can go out and eat with friends and family. Kathy lost over 100 pounds with us, and she has freedom now to move. She literally couldn't go for a walk with her family. She couldn't go for a bike ride. She rode a bike for the very first time. If you haven't watched that interview, go back because it's so awesome. She now has freedom to move and has another level relationship with her family because she's able to go out with them in a physical way, walking, hiking, biking. Amy has the freedom of location. I don't know if you know her story, but she ran with the opportunity, and she slowly increased every single year, increased her income with Beachbody. And then she was able to move her kids to a new location right before they got into a school district, into a high school in a school district that is just not the best. And she wanted this opportunity to be able to move away from her of that location, which she never thought about before. But because of this opportunity of earning side income on top of the working full time, she was able to buy a home where she lives with this beautiful backyard, rolling hills, farmland, cows. I mean, sure, it smells once in a while in the spring, but I mean, it's beautiful, gorgeous. She's gorgeous sunsets behind her home. She gets to see all this, but she got that freedom of location because she decided to put her effort into something on the side and not be fearful to offer an opportunity to other people. And friendships. I mean, she also felt like she never had, those close girlfriend friendships prior to building these communities. I got the freedom of being behind bars at work, right? I just couldn't stand that constraint. And I was able to now work from home and not worry about it. Kaylee has freedom to be the mom she's always wanted to be. She's not at a job 70 hours a week, and she's at home homeschooling her children while building a business at home. That's intense, right? But she has that freedom to choose to do that. Amanda has the freedom of happiness. Oh my gosh, if you haven't seen her posts, I love her posts. The difference I see in Amanda from the day she came into this business to now is incredible. And her happiness, look at the smile on her face. It's amazing, let alone being able to spend money for a gift for her husband that she never thought she'd be able to before. She bought him some kind of top for his Jeep. I don't remember what kind of top it is, but it was like $1,000, and she was able to do that. Rainey has the freedom to be able to help people prevent disease. She's a PA, she's on our team, she's a physician's assistant, and so she works to help people when they're sick, but now she has the opportunity to help people prevent the disease that she sees in the hospital when people are coming into the hospital to see her. All our team has seen different pieces of their lives in these three areas: friendships, money, finances, and health. Those three areas is where everybody creates goals every year in January and then forgets about them by the end of January because it's difficult. But we have the system to help it become easier. And so what I'm going to encourage you to do is watch that summit challenge, Beachbody challenge that just happened. Watch it and just be inspired by their stories. And a lot of these people who are there telling the story, yeah, they had health changes, big health changes. A lot of them are coaches now because they realize, well, if I'm going to have this health change and people are being inspired by me, why not earn an income around it? Why not? And so they took that leap of faith and decided to just coach also. And now many of them have the opportunity, the choice to either stick with their job, to quit their job, to work from home, to travel more, to earn more for retirement, to pay off debt, to have time freedom, to be able to move around and not be tied down to a job that's going to tell you you can't take off a day to be with your kids at school on a field trip. And so these are really big, big things for people to change in their lives. And I encourage you to go watch that video and then post about it. Share something that it helped you understand or realize about yourself. And I hope this story helps you a little bit in understanding why we have such an amazing opportunity here and why we love having you here, because if it weren't for you being on the team and in these communities, we wouldn't have what we have. Our communities is where it starts and where it ends and where all the action happens. So thank you for being a part of our journeys. And I'm really excited to see what happens with your journey over the next year. So message me if you have any questions, or if you have stories that you want me to share, I would love, or to interview, I would love to talk to you. I think that's it for today. Excited for the rest of tonight. Excited to get on our call tonight to close up Summit Week. And if you haven't gotten your ticket for next year, make sure you do. All right, I'll talk to you later.